My friends, we are back on our you-know-what today in the Roottrees Are Dead. It's been, 2 weeks, give or take, since we last recorded, the Roottrees Are Dead. Does that mean that I have forgotten everything about the Roottrees Are Dead? No. It only means that I've forgotten, like, 90% of what I'm doing in the Roottrees Are Dead. So I've been reading your guys' comments, and fortunately some of you are extremely helpful. Some of you also just like straight up spoil the game, so I try not to. There's like it's a part of the YouTuber brain that I don't fully comprehend when it happens, but you unlock this ability to be able to know immediately whether you should read a comment or not. It's like if it starts with hey Alexa exclamation point. I've been really thinking about religion recently. That one I immediately, it's like my brain scrolls right past it. If there's one that starts with I've played this game a lot, and then there's a paragraph, I skip that one too. But if there's one that's like, I feel like you missed X, then I read it, right? And that's exactly what I did here. So there were two things you guys mentioned that I probably missed. This ain't her maiden name. She changed her name, and that is somewhere. And to be honest with you, I feel like I remember freaking reading it. So I kind of want to search her again and just see if I can understand something. And maybe it's like deep in these. Nothing there. How about deep in here? We can also search periodicals. So this is the new Edison. Yeah, let's search the old. Yeah, okay, she legally changed her name. I do remember this. So the old Rugged Cross. This is, I think, what I want to do some searches in the periodicals for. Modern Music Monthly, Mary Beth Quaker. Okay, good, good. That's exciting. Theoretically, this could lock in 4 people. Yeah, and it totally does. Okay, because we had 3 other people that were ready to go. This seems like a great start to the episode, right? I feel like this is a beautiful, beautiful scenario for me. We're not going to get anything special because I still need 4 more people until we do that. But that now puts us into like a really nice footing here. We still got to figure out Christine Farrow. But the other piece that I want to explore, and I don't know if it's even the right one to do, I want to explore Bess Williams a little more, okay? You guys mentioned that I missed a periodical. And that could mean a lot of things, okay? That could mean a lot of things. So let's search Bess Williams in the periodicals. Nothing. Okay. Let's search Bess Williams on here. And this is theoretically where we could find something about a library. And maybe it's the Bocadoro library that we go down, and then that gets us somewhere. We do still have Family Man, so that was this book right here. Which, yeah, is propaganda, the Root Tree Legacy, copy of the photo from Business Watch, but I mean this doesn't provide anything except for that it gave us the picture of Elias. So I think we want to go down the Bocadoro Library route. No longer exists. Multiple libraries in the area. The Miami Print Museum. Did we ever search this, brother? Printing press that was used by the Miami Sunday. Okay, there's like so much here. So the Miami Print Museum takes us nowhere. I have a feeling that the Miami Sunday is going to be really important. Nope, Miami Sunday became the Miami Mercury Sunday. Okay, there we go. Miami Mercury Sunday was a newspaper that lasted only a year. Small website resulted in a larger failing newspaper. Notably by the author because, okay, what the frick? Go back for a second. What is Cuba by Cubans? It's a book of paintings of Cuba? By Marcia Barban. I know it says it doesn't seem related to your search, but that's just at first glance. It could be important. It could be important. So let's do this. You're this, and then it's Cuba by Cubans. Was that the name of it? Out of print. On second glance, it still doesn't seem related to your search. I feel like they're just kind of like shoving their finger in my ear at this point. Wet it up real quick and shove her in. I still feel like it means something, man, and I hate that. I hate that. We're missing something. Let's go back. Let's try to understand a little bit more. So Bocadoro Library does not exist. The Miami Print Museum exists, but is nothing important. Let's search periodicals for the Miami Print Museum. It got nothing. Okay. You come across their website, states their hours and exhibits. One is the courtyard, which includes a fountain as well as a statue of an unknown author. Picture's been added. Another is a printing press that was used by the Miami Sunday. The Miami Sunday. Has no records you can find online or in your periodical search. Merged with another periodical and became the Miami Mercury Sunday. How about the Mercury Sunday we search? Mercury Sunday. What if we search the Mercury Sunday, the Miami Sunday? I mean, it's clear that this is a approach that we can go down, man. Miami Mercury Sunday was a newspaper that lasted only a year, 1949 to 1950. Small website about quirky printing history facts that mentions the Miami Mercury Sunday was the outcome of merging two smaller failing newspapers. This resulted in one larger failing newspaper, which was only notable to the author because by combining the names in the way they did, it was tied for the longest title for an American newspaper at the time. But I mean, you really seem like you're important, man. You seem like you're important because this would get me to a periodical that if we could find that one for that year, it could be so huge for me. Nothing in here. Like, you would think that this could get me somewhere. What about the Mercury? There has to be some kind of... I mean, only notable to the author because by combining the names in the way they did, longest title for an American newspaper. I mean, I didn't think that was going to find anything. But I figured there was a chance. Okay, here's what we're gonna humor. We're showing evidence intuition. I didn't even notice that. Sorry, maybe we are. Show evidence displays a number. Yeah, I would like to see that. Ah, we have it. Okay, never mind. Family Man does not go anywhere right now. Company records, there's a ton. The fact that Family Man doesn't go anywhere, man, this still has 8, which is insane to me. It's insane to me. How in the world could this have 8 things to go off of? It has to be this unreleased book about what's-her-face. Can I search? Have we done Piketty? I mean, have we done friggin' this? Is there a chance that there's some kind of... Okay, there's not. How about Guy Hudson? Canceled book subject, said to contain pictures. Yeah, I gotta get access to this somehow, man. I gotta get access to this. I don't know how... I guarantee that we're going to get a copy of that book at the next break. I gotta go back to frickin' Bess Williams, man. There has to be something here. What else is there that we can figure out? Let's search Family Man. Okay. Poorly received book, The Roottree Legacy. There's an older version by Bess Williams. Can I search? Yeah, I don't know. Is there something else we're missing here? Information about her book, The Family Man. Yeah. Dedicated to hurricane statistics that mentions her. Library was expanded, then closed in 1963 when multiple larger libraries opened in the surrounding area, making it redundant. The Bocadoro Library. Bocadoro Library. Miami Print Museum. It's just nothing, man. It's just nothing. Cuba by Cubans was also nothing. How about the statue of her? Where is that? It's gotta be here. North Miami, sits in the courtyard. Miami Print Museum. Yeah, you're just not useful to me. What am I missing? What am I missing, brother? What am I missing? I mean, maybe it's nothing. Maybe I'm missing nothing, right? Maybe we don't have access to this data yet to figure out what's going on here. It sure does frickin' feel like we should, though. This was a defunct newspaper. Merged with another. Became the Miami Mercury Sunday. How about the Miami Mercury? Ah, there we go. Yeah, sorry, it's not the Mercury Sunday, it's the Miami Mercury. Very good, very good. Seems at some point during this process it was at least partially archived and available via your search. Now we go freaking crazy. So, the Miami Mercury, you search Bess Williams in here, has an article about her when it was being built in 1928, mentions Bess's young son, now an orphan, was in attendance. Okay. Wildcat Construction. Okay, here we go. Time to go crazy. A bidding war for a planned expansion. Can we also search? I mean, is there any chance? Okay. This is the only important route. That's not true. I mean, it could be anything, right? We could also search the Miami Print Museum in here. Okay, fair enough. I think you just go back to here. Wildcat Construction. Let's search this. Frank Wildcat Williams. Okay, yeah. Wildcat Construction was mentioned once in an article you've already seen about the expansion of the Bocadoro Library. Also mentioned earlier, constructing a better world. Frank Wildcat Williams left Florida in 1941, a construction worker, and returned a hero. Won the Navy Cross for his bravery and sacrifice, having carried a fellow soldier to safety under heavy Nazi fire. Now he and his wife, Ophelia, are carrying his fellow soldiers through tough times at home. Wildcat Construction is Frank's company, focusing on creating opportunities for soldiers finding difficulty getting back to normal. Ophelia handled outreach to the wives of local veterans who are often able to provide insight into their husbands' needs and conditions. Through such outreach, found 13 veterans of the war to serve as Frank's employees. Community support's been unendingly and overwhelmingly positive, to the point where if Frank bids on a project, other companies have decided to step back and let his soldiers handle it. Sore spot for local politicians and business owners, as bids are often not as low as they expected. Okay. I mean, this is very interesting. Here's what I'm intrigued about. So if we go back, Bess's young son, now an orphan. Is there a chance that I don't know. I was gonna say, do you think that they adopted this orphaned kid? Seems insane to me. How about just a spider search on this? Listed on some historical records as having worked on many buildings, seems to have ceased operations. There's gotta be some other route we can take here, man. So Wildcat Construction. Wildcat Construction. What if there's just more about Frank Wildcat Williams, right? And Ophelia Williams at that point. So Frank Wildcat Williams. Yeah, baby. Okay. Listed on a few different military history websites, awarded a Navy Cross Medal, managed to carry a fellow soldier through enemy territory on his shoulders for over 2 miles. After being struck in the arm with a bullet, he's a hero. Died in 1996. Tough to hear. Age 74. Retirement community in Sweetwater, Florida. Obituary on the website of a local news channel that was written by, he grew up an orphan. Oh, frick. He's the orphan. Wait. I'm so confused. Go back. Bess's young son, now an orphan. In a later mention, 1920. Okay, yeah. So when he was 22, he formed his company? Left in 41. These years are not adding up, man. I mean, he was a young son, I suppose. So say that he was born in 1920. He comes back in 41. He's 21 years old. Starts as a... I guess it works. Yeah, it works. So he's the orphan. Frank Wildcat Williams. Good. This is... I mean, not good that he was an orphan. Good. Well, and because probably his dad, actual dad, was a piece of garbage who didn't adopt him. It was a pump and dump scheme. Could barely remember his mother, had no memory of his father. After the war, he ran a construction company, married his wife Ophelia. As a matter of courtesy and convenience, she wouldn't have to change her last name. Ah, yeah, because he doesn't know his last name, right? It's interesting. Frank in his youth, survived by Ophelia as well as his daughters Barb and Sharon Williams. Okay. Let's start getting you on here. So this is Ophelia, you've been on my mind, girl, since the flood? Is that the lyric to that? What the hell's the flood, man? And you're Ophelia Williams, right? And you are Frank Williams. If your name is not Williams and I just came up with that in my brain, I have no idea where I'm going with this. You were a construction worker? I need to probably take a look at the picture of you. Incredible, and you can see the friggin' statue in the background. That's amazing. Why does he look like Leonardo DiCaprio, man? He's giving big, like, Leo in Titanic vibes. Okay. He was juggling hammers. Good for him, frankly. That's you. And then you both had a... Yeah, you had two... Well, you adopted one. We got to figure out who the adopted. Let's search Sharon Williams. We ain't gonna find nothing. Yeah. Let's search Barb Williams. Barb Williams. Motivational speaker, has a website that explains the services she offers. Company's address is in Coconut Grove, Florida. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Now we're getting places, man. She looks amazing. 5 pieces of intuition. Get it the frick out of here. Get it the frick. I don't want to see it. Okay. Overcoming adversity with Barb Williams. Her story will surprise you, uplift you, and then energize you. Greta Jones. A lesson that anyone can take something away from. Oh, dude, these are all so many periodicals and nonsense for me to find. Intimate evening with a truly wonderful message. Book Barb for corporate retreats, church events, or even school assemblies. She can customize her message for any audience. Okay. Very good. This is great. This is great. We still don't know anything about you, really. Let's search overcoming adversity. Overcoming adversity. Okay, fair enough. Let's do a little periodical search real quick. Let's do a Barb Williams. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's do a Sharon Williams. All is well. Let's search. We're definitely going to be able to get the Gazette here. So Kikiwa Falls Gazette. There's no Kikiwa Falls anywhere in the world that you can find. The closest thing to a Kikiwa appears to be in New Zealand. Instead, a man named Chris Elmsworth has invented a small-town newspaper as a conceptual art piece. The Kikiwa Falls Gazette, series of online articles about small restaurants, shows, and other tourist attractions. Represented as a monthly newspaper of small-town America. Okay. Makes it a bit strange, as amongst the articles detailing real locations are occasionally stories that present outlandish, inflammatory concepts in extremely mundane ways. For example, on the homepage right now is an article entitled Mermaids Strike Back Against Lobster Farms that uses very dry languages, details the idea that mermaids in Maine have begun to unionize. What the hell is going on? Okay. Is good. Small town America is going to be important. Just kidding. Well, it might be in the future. How about Chris Elmsworth? Not Frickum? Sounds good. I mean, small town America really feels like it's a thing here. Nothing on that. Unfortunately, each current issue of the paper is presented on the homepage. No archives of older issues. Okay. Peculiar. How about Vic Elmsworth? Vic Elmsworth, according to his own personal page, is apparently one of 3 brothers. All 3 of them are contributors to the newspaper called Kickewa Falls Gazette, and he tends to focus more on southeastern United States. All the articles he's written on are archived on his site, including the long-form version of the review for Barb Williams' motivational show. He's seen Barb talk more than once on this particular occasion. Her talk was at a very large church. It was clear she was an expert at matching the presentation of her concepts for any particular crowd, because she received a standing ovation. Started with a story about loss, specifically the loss of a bicyclist who had been hit by a car. Spoke about the death of any person as a darkness in their loved ones, cold, empty void that begins to creep into a space where there was once light. Because the light could never return exactly to how it was, she says the only option is to nurture new sources to help fight the darkness. Sure, why not? Conclusion was that finding the hidden meanings in tragedy is the most important thing we can do. Use multiple biblical comparisons, looping back. The biker who died was her son-in-law, and the Lanes Across America charity was experienced to fill the newfound darkness her daughter experienced. So her daughter hit her son-in-law with a car? I don't know, maybe. That seems a little much to make that claim. Lanes Across America, or LAA, charity focused on adding bike lanes. Sure. News articles mention Lane Across America have a similar summary. Founded in 1987 after the death of Drew Smith. Website for the charity is a picture of Drew. Yeah, this guy's gonna be important for sure. Let's go get him. Because this is her son-in-law. He looks amazing. So this is her son-in-law. So if you were married to a John Doe, I think we actively don't care about you because we know you had a daughter, right? So this would be your daughter. This would be your son-in-law. So this is Andrew, sorry. What the hell's your last name, bro? Drew Smith. This is Drew Smith, and he's a bicyclist. Probably not his job, right? I feel like that's reasonable to assume that is not his job. Drew Smith. We have no idea what job you had, brother. You could be a college student, right? I mean, that's reasonable. Drew Smith, LAA, Lanes Across America, right? That's the names of this? Yeah, Lanes Across America. I'd like to search this in the periodicals. Nothing. Okay. Formerly Lamb. Lamb is too common. Lanes Across Miami? There you go. Holy frick, here we go. Founded by Sharon Smith after the death of her husband. This is important. This is very important. Sharon and other board members stepped down. Oh, an uncropped version of the wedding photo. Now that is huge. That is huge. So founded by Sharon Smith after the death of her husband. So this is a split up, which is different. They didn't split up. This is definitely Sharon Smith. Okay? So this is Sharon Smith. But there's not Sharon Smith, it's Sharon Williams, right? You're Sharon Williams. That would make you Barb Williams? But that's weird, right? No, that's not weird. You're Sharon Williams. Barb is just, yeah. This is Barb Williams. I'm thinking about this the wrong way. This is you, and you are a public speaker. You're Andrew Smith, but we don't know much about you yet. The full wedding photo here is quite good. So, who are you people? We have no idea who any of you are. Well, we know that you're his wife. What exactly is going on here? This implies that you were married to two different people. I've got something messed up here. I've got something really messed up here. So, founded by Sharon Smith after the death of her husband. That would make this Sharon Smith. Because, yeah. Because you remarried after you died. So you're Sharon Williams. Founded by Sharon Smith. We don't know much about Sharon Smith. And then Drew Smith was biking home from work when he was hit by a car. Okay, this is starting to make sense. So Sharon Smith starts the LAM because her son Drew Smith dies. But then Barb her son-in-law is weird here because that implies who she marries. Hold on. Son, I know that this is a strange thing to Google. Son-in-law. Son-in-law is the husband of one's daughter. So, the husband of one's daughter. This is weird, right? I guess that this would be... No, this is weird. This is still weird. That doesn't add up, like, at all to me. Because you're Barbara Williams, the public speaker. I don't think this is implying that. I think that this is Sharon Williams. This is your daughter, who we don't know yet. You're just like a person who we don't know yet. And then we also don't know who the hell you marry. I gotta learn more about Sharon Williams. And I think that it is definitely about this. So it's Sharon Smith, LAM, lanes across Miami. Let's do a periodical search on that. Nothing. And then a periodical search on that. Nothing. Sharon Smith. Nothing. Sharon Williams is also nothing. This is not a dead end. There's no way this is a dead end. There's too much more that I need. Some of the board members stepped down in 1992. Current leadership took over. Death of her husband, but I need to know more about her husband. And I need to know more about Drew Smith. Lanes across America, offices in 12 major metropolitan areas. Drew Smith. How about Andrew Smith, nothing. Andrew Smith, nothing. And then this was nothing. And this is really not much, I'm gonna tell you. This implies his dad. I mean, they look identical, right? They look identical. Okay, I got so many freaking questions. This is implying that no. This is implying that her daughter marries her son? Am I losing it? I think I got something screwed up in here, man. I got something screwed up in here. Theoretically, I have to learn more about you. Maybe you're a housewife, and maybe you're a college student. It's not correct, so that's a tough one. I mean, without like pure guessing, I feel like that we don't have to pure guess. Lanes across America. And I feel like that's just this article, man. Okay. So Vic Elmsworth. There's still more we can get down here. So this was... We still got the Kikkiwa Falls Gazette to figure out here. So Chris Elmsworth makes the Kikkiwa Falls Gazette. And then Vic Ellsworth. I need to go back to my evidence. Where the heck is this? Right? Vic Elmsworth makes that. Who's Isabel Crosby? Nobody important is, I guess, the answer there. How about Greta Jones? Too common of a name. Fair enough. How about WQTV12? Greta Jones is, according to a flyer in your possession, the morning news anchor for WQTV12. Has no online presence. Do find it on a giant list of television call signs next to the city Springfield under the heading Effingham County. Okay. Effingham County. One is in Georgia, one is in Illinois. Okay, it's definitely Illinois that we want. Springfield is the capital, but after perusing some of the results, you find that it is not located in Effingham County. What the frick? Georgia? There is a Springfield. What the hell? What about the Effingham County Times? Figured maybe a newspaper. So Effingham. What am I doing here right now? Capital of Illinois. But after perusing some of the results, you find it is not located in Effingham County. Springfield, Georgia. Okay, when you refine your search to television in and around Springfield, Georgia, you come across a list of different channels. One of the entries is Channel 12. The news anchor is Greta Flores. Oh, wait a minute. News anchor who used to go by Greta Jones before her divorce. Is this gonna somehow come back to the guy Hudson slept with this chick? Because I feel like that's probably where this is going. Compared to the ordeal you've gone through to simply figure out her current name, it's way easier than you would expect to find. She has a website of her accomplishments. MC for an all-female speaking tour. Tour is called Storytellers of Sisterhood. What the hell is this? Compiled into a book, 25 Stories of Sisterhood by Ayla Hale. Bro, where am I going right now? This is Ayla Hale? What? One of the stories by Barb Williams. Oh my god. Okay, sure. We're going deep. One of the stories by Barb Williams. I mean, this is obviously going to be important. I guess somehow this got there, man. Barb Williams had the transcript of a story she told on stage published in a book. The first part of her story focuses on two 16-year-old girls. My sister Sherry was always a brat. Always sulking, often disobedient, never on time. She borrowed things without asking. and even ran away from home only to sneak back the next day like nothing had changed. My daughter Sharon, on the other hand, was a beautiful person. She had excellent marks in school, intensely artistic and creative, even volunteered at an animal rescue. She continues to tell stories of the two girls until she shifts narrative. What was the difference between Sherry the brat and Sharon the beauty? Answer is nothing. There was no difference between my sister and my daughter are the same girl. Barb reveals that her daughter was the result of an unexpected pregnancy when she was only 15. I met a boy at a county fair. Unlike us, he lived in a nice part of town. He went to a good school. To a teenage girl, it felt like a fairy tale. What in the hell is going on? Okay. Boxes all over the house. He was moving in 3 days. Those 3 days were heaven to me. Final night, he surprised me. He told me he could visit me again soon. Planned to return to visit his grandparents. I thought I was giving him a reason to keep his promise. I never saw him again. A friend of a friend told me he hadn't even given me his real last name. Barb also talks about when she found out she was pregnant. I was convinced my life was over. My parents, they took charge. I had to live at home, work a part-time job. They removed the burden of motherhood. I managed to scrape out a degree in English, and as far as my daughter was concerned, I was her much older sister. Okay, Barb uses the story to come to a conclusion. When I was younger, I thought my sister was a brat. I wasn't wrong. She ran away, blah, blah, blah. Sherry's hair. Okay. Sherry's hair in Orlando. Owner of the business is Sherry Yastromzemski. Sherry's a oh my, what the? This is, I have something like royally screwed up over here. You're Barb. I'm once again changing this again. You're Barbara. You're Sharon. No. No. Why are these the most confusing people of all time to figure out, man? I mean, that's not... You're... For now, you're Barb. And for now, you're Sharon. I'm not convinced that's correct, okay? I should be taking notes, and instead I'm, like, nowhere near here, man. So... Sherry Yastromzemski. The About Sherry section is very long, presented as one paragraph with multiple run-ons, no pictures. You get the sense that if she were to do her hair, you'd be doing a lot of talking. Mentions her husband Pete was her late husband's college roommate. Okay, yeah. Yeah. You have to be Sharon. You have to be Sharon, and you're a hairdresser. And then this would make you Pete. But you're Peter York, I think? Husband Pete was her late husband's college roommate. She and he had never spent any significant time together until she became a widow. They built a charity together. So Sharon builds the charity. Yeah. She brags about her kids, Tony, Mark, and Cricket. Her oldest, Tony, seems to get the short end of the stick. His two listed accomplishments are that he's the oldest and he's a straight-A student. Mark, on the other hand, has multiple baseball accomplishments. His Little League team is nationally recognized. Cricket's near the end. Has an entire section dedicated to her. She's an actress on local television called Liberty Library. The reason Sherry relocated from Miami to Orlando. Passage also mentions that her agent recommended they change her last name to York since it's easier to pronounce. Okay, yeah. That makes sense, because you're Peter Yastromensky. But then, who the hell is Andrew Smith? Andrew Smith is not... He is not part of this scenario. I think you are part of this scenario, okay? I think that this is not your daughter. No, wait. It's the son-in-law. You're not related in any way. Get out of here. You need to not be here, okay? You need to not be here. You're not Andrew Smith. You're unknown. You're somebody else's kid, and we'll figure you out in the future. This is definitely your daughter. Andrew Smith becomes your son-in-law, who certainly is frickin' this guy. You're Andrew Smith now. I don't know. I'm not going to put that in. You're not Andrew Smith. You're Peter Jastrzemski. These are your 3 kids. And in order of the oldest... Yeah, okay. This is making sense now. The oldest is Tony. So you're frickin' Tony. I understand what it looks like right now. You're Anthony Jastrzemski. And then Cricket is the youngest, right? Cricket York is near the end. We're going to look up Mark Jastrzemski / York. Because that's obviously going to be kind of important. How about Mark York? Nothing. Mark Jastrzemski? That's not how you spell it, for sure. Okay. Can I copy Yastra, and then Zemski? I can do that. Yastra Zemski. No, that's your name, bro. Yastra Zemski. Yastra Zemski. That's definitely your name. Search you in here. You could be in the sports magazine. Didn't we have a sports magazine? Hold on. There's more we can learn here. I'm getting shot all over the place at this point. I need the evidence. Evidence? No, not evidence. I need to get back to... Yeah, evidence. I need to get back to the book. This thing. And then it was Sherry's Harry's, right? She ran away to work at that animal shelter. There's more in here that I need. Okay, there's more in here that I need, but I need Sherry's hair. How do we get there, man? How do we get back to this? Sherry's hair. Sherry's hair. The style of Brittany, Christina, or even the Rachel to your door. This is probably Aguilera, Spears, and Rachel from Friends. I don't know. Something like that. Cricket York. Gotta be important. Sure, why not? Liberty Library is a children's show filmed at the studio in Orlando, Florida. Been on the air since 1991. Multiple adults and children interact with different animal puppets in a small town called Liberty. Unlike some other popular shows involving non-human performers, this one isn't funded by the public. Instead, it's paid for by donations from businesses related to education. Includes textbook manufacturers like Arithmetic, tutoring companies such as EDU, C82U. From what you can find, it's syndicated in a few markets across the southern United States and in New Hampshire for some reason. I'm sure that's important. Picture of Cricket from her first episodes. But I freaking think that this is 1997 though. Wait, who are you? Who are you? Who the frick are you, man? This is not right. This is not right. You're Cricket York, I guess. Cricket. I mean, I think that your name got legally changed to York. You're a child actor. That makes you... I don't know what the maiden name of... Well, I know the maiden name of Sharon. I don't know what her first husband's married name is. She had 2 kids with the first husband and then 2 with the second. What is Arithmetic? You're a textbook publishing company. Nothing associated seems to be related. Good, frankly, because this is too much to search. Oh my god, man, it just keeps going. It just keeps going. A tutoring service. They have a deal with Liberty Library. Okay, included is Cricket York, who's seen in a photo labeled Cricket and her brothers. Okay, huge. Cricket and her brothers. Take me back. Cricket and her brothers. Perfect student. They're all perfect students, and you're Cricket York again, which makes sense because you have 2 different photos. So you're the oldest of the 2. You're the youngest of the 2. This is, and you're a student at this point. This is frickin' Mark. Because Mark's the oldest, right? No, Mark's not the oldest. This is Mark. I gotta look at it again. I'm so sorry. We're gonna lock people in here, man. I'm so confident. Tony, Mark, and Cricket. So you're Anthony. But I don't friggin' know your name. I don't know your name is the problem. Which is a huge problem. Because I actually have no clue. Because if you're Cricket York, we don't know what your name actually is. It's Mark. The baseball team is how we figure that out, okay? I still think that you're a student K through 12, and I think that you're also a student K through 12. But there's some way for me to get your baseball team. Little League team is nationally recognized. Little League? Yeah, I mean, that is obvious that that was not going to work. Okay. Liberty Library gets us to here. Few markets, including New Hampshire. Cricket York, listed as a current cast member. Show's been documented by a few fan sites. We can get back to EDU, tutoring service. Terrified of the little girl in the logo. Looks like some kind of demon doll. Yeah, that seems very reasonable. She is a little scary. And you're the baseball player. I mean, we get it. We get it. I understand who you are. I don't know your freaking last name. That's the issue right now. Is I don't know what your actual last name is. So Sherry Yastrozemski. I mean, there's a chance. Sherry's hair mentions her husband Pete was her late husband's college roommate. I mean, I guess she probably... mentions that her agent recommended she change her last name to York. I understand. I understand, but you gotta work with me like a little bit more, man. You gotta work with me a little bit more than that. Because it's not... Maybe it is Peter Yastrozemski? Peter Yastrozemski. Nothing. Peter York. Mark Yastrozemski. Mark York. Your name is somewhere. Your name is somewhere and I don't friggin' know. I don't know where to find it. You suck. You suck. I hate you. Go back to your evidence for a second. Is there anything I can glean from this? Cricket and her brothers. Where's just Cricket? This is just Critic with the psychotic face. The puppet poof tail. Okay, thank God that that's not somewhere. How about Liberty Library in here? Nothing. How about York? How about Yastrozemski? Sherry's hair? We need a magazine in Orlando, man. Orlando. They built the charity together. See, I'm still confused though. I'm still so confused. Greta Flores, I don't know how we got to Greta Flores, by the way. This was such a deep dive into pure utter nonsense, man. Like, from here, you got Barb Williams. Barb Williams has the sister, Sharon Williams, who we're still not positive is even you. Because it doesn't make any sense for that to be you, right? I think the reality is that no, this makes so much sense, man. This makes so much sense. That's Sharon Williams. And this is Andrew Smith. Which makes you a Smith. Oh my god, we're in? And then maybe your best man is your college roommate. Holy frick. No, but you look like identical to him, man. So there's something off, but we're gonna roll with it. You're a Smith? What the frick? Okay, yeah. God, I'm so sorry. We got there in the end, okay? We got there in the end. Ophelia, Andrew Smith, yeah. Peter Jastrzemski. I can't believe it, to be honest with you. I simply can't believe it. Hello. Ah, the squad.
Hey there, it's us. So I just have to say, the work you're doing here is fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
So fantastic, in fact.
There goes Clark.
There he goes.
Always the bad cop. Go ahead.
Well, our law firm, Ruby Legal Enterprises,
Ruh-roh.
is having trouble keeping up. They're actually begging us to stop submitting new
Uh-oh.
Roottrees. They said it's getting difficult to verify your progress.
That's not good.
Well, consider that a good thing. I told Clark you'd get results.
She says that like I didn't believe her. Regardless, the bad news is it's going to take 5
That's
potential
okay.
re-editions
That's
before
okay.
anyone locks
You're
in
gonna
from
give me the
now
book.
on.
I know you're gonna give me the book.
Good luck.
And keep up the good work.
You're gonna give me nothing? You're gonna give me nothing? Okay, fair enough. You're Mark Smith. Lock it in. And you're Cricket Jastrzemski. Because it didn't lock her in, so it's not... The name change does not matter here. I know that those are correct, and that means that this entire tree is done. Which means that I just have this area, man, which I don't friggin' know what's going on over here. So that's a big problem, too. Total mess, for sure. Total frickin' mess. But somehow, to be honest with you, that went okay. That also makes you Barbara Williams at that point. And then everything else is like kind of kosher on this board. So now it's just a matter of diving into Guy Hudson's infidelities yet again in the next episode. So thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, as always, like on the video, much appreciated. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.